morning, everyone. My name is Dean Brouder. I'm the Drug and Alcohol Resource Coordinator for Methuen Public Schools. Today is November 9th, 2017, and this is the second of a series of interviews that we'll have throughout the year focusing on Methuen High graduates and what they've done with their lives. Today's special guest, and a very special person in my life, is Gina Currao. Good morning, Gina.
Good morning.
It's been how many years since you walked through the halls of Methuen High?
12 years.
So 12 years, a lot's gone on in 12 years.
Yes, it has.
So we've known each other for quite a while, and say the last X amount of years we've gotten rather close. But generically, describe what it was like, because you had to overcome some obstacles, mental, physical obstacles when you were here at Methuen High. Try to go back and share with the audience what it was like for a little girl to come from Italy and come to a new place and figure it all out. What was it like? How did you feel for the most part?
Well, that's a good question, because so when I moved here, I was 12, so I didn't speak any English. But by the time I became a freshman, I spoke enough English to get by, and I was in the ESL classes for my freshman year. So that really helped. And for being a little person, like, you there's a lot of challenges that I deal with on a daily basis. But for the most part, like, I was able to adjust and adapt well to the school. At times where it can get really crowded. It was really crowded, like, walking in the hallways, and sometimes I'll get bumped into or like squished right in between my face. But other than that, like, I had really good teachers, and I had really good friends. I played sports for a couple of years. I played field hockey my sophomore and junior year, and that was challenging because I think it was a first for somebody my height, at least from Methuen High, to play field hockey. But it was good. I had to adjust my equipment, like the hockey stick, like I had to cut it down, so I was able to use it. But I didn't have any problem playing sports. I ran track also for 2 years. Other than that, like, it was good. I mean, I did get into some trouble.
Yeah.
But
you were a little active. Would we say you were a little active, and sometimes you'd like to walk?
Yes.
Maybe not out of class, but maybe leave the class and head around to certain places.
Absolutely.
I don't know if this is fair of me to ask, but when you were dealing with trying to fit in, because all teenagers try to fit in. I don't care if they're from Italy or from Poland or whatever. Identity is very important, and I always got the impression that you like to be a jokester. You like to make light of things. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate? But was it accurate? Was that being true to yourself, or did you put on a front when you were, being the jokester in high school, but deep down maybe you really didn't feel that way, or maybe you just were. You just enjoyed yourself.
I've always been, a jokester, and had like a funny sense of humor, but also like in a way, like, it kind of protect myself in a way by having this like bubbly personality, like, it just makes up for like what I lack in height per se.
Okay. Can you remember some teachers that just, I don't know, there was something about them, the way they spoke to you, with you, treated you, that you'll always remember as someone that, kind of made a difference and you felt good about? Were there any teachers that touched you like that?
Absolutely. There were actually there were too many really to name. For example, Mr. Lynch, who's no longer here, at the school.
Right.
He was really helpful. Miss Fawcett was helpful too. There were so many teachers. Miss Tebbets, who's Mrs. Moore now, but she was really helpful. I really had a lot of like helpful teachers who
Supportive.
supported me and make sure I sat in the front, so I was able to see the board. Any adjustment that I needed for classes.
So Methuen High has been notorious. We may not, score the highest scores in the state, but when it comes to being kind to people, once we get to know them, I think Methuen kids is just great. And I know that for the most part, you were very well liked, and people really thought a lot about you, and you were someone that a lot of people cared about. So let's move on. We get out of high school, and what's Gina? Where's Gina headed? What is Gina doing? What is Gina into? Did you go right off to college? Or what?
I took like a year off, and then I went to a community college for. I wanted to be a preschool teacher, so I did that. I went to school. I went to Middlesex for like 2 years, and worked at a preschool for a couple of years, but I didn't really like it. I love kids, just know in a 40-hour setting. But at that time, I started struggling a lot with with depression and anxiety and substance abuse and all of that. So I kind of really wasn't going anywhere in life. I was kind of like just slowly spiraling out of control. So that was for a while, and then I finally was able to get sober, and but however, like I relapsed, and I've had lots of issues with drinking and drugging, but I had seizures because of my drinking. I overdosed, and I lost a job from it. But so I finally hit bottom, and but I was able to reach out. I was able to reach out to you, and I was able to go to treatment, and finally got my life back in order. So
So you that was like when you really hit bottom. Was that when you were Havel Street area where they found you very sick in the car?
That was
Or a little before that.
Probably like a year before that.
All right, and then so then you got well, and then you relapsed, and now we were back, and you were angry, and you were still trying to do your work and trying to still use on the side or whatever it's called. And then we got you into a place in New Jersey?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened in New Jersey? You went away to a 30-day program?
I went away to a 30-day program, and when I got there, obviously I was detoxing, so I didn't want to be there. And it was tough, like I would say probably like the first 10 days, it was really hard, because you're detoxing and you're going through all these emotions that you don't even know you had. But then after that, it kind of got easier. I wouldn't say easier, but I completed the program, and for me, it's easy to stay sober when I'm in a program, because I don't have access to anything, like no money, like no car, no phone. But for me, it started, the real recovery started when I left treatment, because what am I gonna do this time? Because it wasn't my first time. So what is Gina gonna do this time to
Maintain your
sobriety.
sobriety.
Maintain my sobriety, yes.
So a lot of people have a misconception that putting down that drug or putting down that drink is the hardest part, but in reality, it's not. That part is hard, make no doubt about it, but it's staying stopped, which is really difficult, because then life happens, and then, whoa, where do we go with all those anxieties and fears and doubts and insecurities? So you go there, and now you turn your life around, you have a different sense of self. Your identity changes. Mm-hmm. You go from, I'm not this liar, I'm not this person who's no good, I'm no good at relationships, I'm no good at staying sober, to someone who's now listening for the first time and really becoming a student of sobriety. And you went back to school. And tell us all about going back to school from someone who went to a junior college, community college, not junior college, and then where did you, back to school, and what happened?
So I went back to school. I went to Springfield College, and I got my bachelor's in human services. And somehow, when I got my first job in the field, I really liked what I was doing. So I decided to go back for my master's degree for counseling, and I did that. And I went to Springfield College. I took weekend classes, 9 to 5, Saturdays and Sundays. So that was like a challenge, but it was definitely worth it. So yeah, I mean, school was tough, but it was definitely worth it. It gave me like a purpose, like a sense of like, like a goal in life, and to keep striving for my sobriety. So I got my master's degree, and now I work. I'm a licensed therapist. I work with substance abuse, so I get to give back. But also, I just like helping people, and just to see them change their lives around.
So you go from a little girl that comes to America who can barely speak English, someone who overcomes obstacles that someone like myself can't understand, because every day, whether it's the car pedal or this or the physicality of getting around, especially when we had the open classroom and it was like a stampede of 2,000 people running to lunch or whatever, to someone who, maybe didn't love herself all that much, to someone who is a woman of dignity today, and you're very well known in the recovery community, and you're very well respected. Mm-hmm. And I told you earlier when I was speaking to some men about you that you were going to be on the show, and one of the gentlemen said that you helped basically save his life. And that's the kind of great work. We're not surgeons, and we don't go in and operate on brains, but we play a small role in helping others, and that's what gives us a tremendous amount of satisfaction. So I'm very proud to have you on the show today, and hopefully we'll get Mr. Osgood, and we'll be able to work out some scheduling for you, because you work full-time down in the Danvers area, and get you to speak to all the health classes, and just so that they can see that, nothing's too, if you want it, and you wanted it, and you were willing to do what it took that was necessary to achieve success. So far today, you're a member of good standing, you help others, you have your own little pad in another city, you have your own little dog that, if I see one more picture of that dog, but I know she's important to you, he or she, he. And you have your own car, so you've created your own life, and that's really wonderful. And I bet you your parents went from, being afraid to get that call, that like I did get that call, to now seeing their daughter do so well, and I'm so proud, and I'm so glad that we used to take our walks, and we still have to make time for those, and I'm glad you're my friend, and I'm so glad that you're in the field. You're a very special young woman, and Methuen is very proud to have you. So that's the end of our show today. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider, if you have a son, daughter, uncle, friend, whatever, that may be experiencing substance abuse issues, please call 978-273-4812. It's confidential. It goes directly to me, and we'll do whatever I can do in my power to reach out and get help from people like Gina for someone that you love. So that's all for today. Our next speaker may be this writer that is also a Methuen High graduate, or a physical therapist that has a unique story to tell. So we haven't quite made up our mind on our third show. So everyone have a great Thanksgiving, and thank the 10 of you that are watching this show next week. That's it. Thanks. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.